Imagine a world that has never known silence, a place where space itself is so electrified that atoms shatter into pieces before they can form matter. There, 500 million kilometers away from us, something is rotating that is not merely a planet. There lies the gravitational fist of our system, which holds chaos in check and simultaneously births it. We call this Jupiter, but for physics, this is a monument to impossibility. It is liquid hell wrapped in toxic gas, where pressure transforms hydrogen into metal and where storms live longer than human civilizations. If the universe wanted to show us how insignificant we are, it would simply create Jupiter. And it did. Take Earth, your planet, where 8 billion people live. All the cities, all the mountains, all the oceans. This is your world. Now, imagine that you place this planet inside Jupiter, not on its surface, inside, like a ball on a racetrack. Listen carefully. You can place 1,323 Earths inside Jupiter simultaneously, and there is still room left over. You can place the Moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Saturn with all its moons, and Jupiter still won't feel crowded. Jupiter's diameter is 139,820 kilometers. Earth's is 12,742 kilometers. This means Jupiter is 11 times thicker than your planet. 11 times! If you flew along Earth's equator in an airplane, that's 40,075 kilometers, one complete circuit, about 1.5 days of flight. To circumnavigate Jupiter's equator in the same airplane, it would take you 4.5 days non-stop. And that's an airplane flying 3 kilometers above the clouds, above Jupiter's clouds. And now, the most interesting part. Jupiter is not solid. Have you ever seen a basketball? Well, Earth is a hard basketball. Jupiter is a balloon filled with gas, only this balloon is 2,000 Earths in size and consists of hydrogen and helium so compressed that they become liquid. You cannot stand on it, not because you would sink through, you would burn up faster than you could comprehend what happened. In reality, everything is far more complicated. Jupiter is not just a massive ball of gas, it is an atmospheric death machine that has been operating since the solar system formed and will continue to operate billions of years. On the surface of Jupiter's clouds, if we call this frozen methane slurry clouds, the temperature is no higher than 110 degrees below zero. This is Antarctica multiplied by 100. This is the temperature at which carbon dioxide freezes, where your blood doesn't merely freeze, instantly becomes ice. But you won't die from cold, you will die from pressure. The pressure on Jupiter's clouds is 100 atmospheres, and the depths, at the depth where the visible clouds end, already 1,000 atmospheres. This is like being at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the deepest place on Earth, where water presses with 1,000 times more force than the atmosphere at sea level. But this is not water. This is pressure that transforms hydrogen and helium into liquid, into free liquid that flows like water, but with a temperature of 25 degrees. Imagine you are in boiling water in a cauldron that crushes you from all directions, water hotter than iron that begins to melt. Pressure tears you into molecules. You don't even have time to lose consciousness. Deeper still, and the pressure reaches 300,000 atmospheres, 500,000 atmospheres, and then something completely insane happens. Hydrogen and helium are no longer liquid. Hydrogen becomes solid, metallic. This is called metallic hydrogen, and it exists only in the depths of Jupiter and Saturn. This is a substance you cannot find anywhere else in the universe except in gas giants. Have you ever seen a hurricane on Earth? Hurricane Katrina that flooded New Orleans. Wind speed 280 kilometers per hour. This sounds unbelievable. It destroys houses, uproots trees, overturns trucks. This is death moving at jet stream velocity. On Jupiter, winds blow at 400 kilometers per hour. Constantly. This is not a hurricane that lasts hours or days. This is normal weather. This is normal weather. Winds flow in bands, dark and light, around the entire planet like stripes on a zebra, and they never stop. But there is one place, one hellish place on Jupiter, where winds gather into a single fist. This is the Great Red Spot. Have you heard of it? Look at Earth. Take the largest continent, Asia. Now take two such continents and place them on top of each other. That is roughly the size of the Great Red Spot. A cyclone, a gigantic cyclone that has been rotating on Jupiter for 400 years. 400 years. When your planet was discovered by Europeans, this hurricane was already spinning. When our Earth was born, this hurricane was spinning. When dinosaurs went extinct, this hurricane was spinning. The wind speed in the heart of the cyclone is 800 kilometers per hour. 800. This is no hurricane. This is a moving apocalypse. If you threw an iron meteorite into its heart, it would not fall down. It would be torn to shreds and scattered 2 kilometers to the sides. This is not weather. This is the Cosmic Monthly Report from the Bureau of... In reality, everything is far more complicated. Jupiter is not just a ball of gas with hellish winds. Jupiter is a magnet, the most powerful magnet in the solar system. Its magnetic field is 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. Earth's magnetic field protects you. It deflects the solar wind. Charged particles flying from the sun at 400 kilometers per second. Because of this, you don't transform into a bleeding pile of radioactive meat. You can walk on the beach. You can see the sunset. Jupiter's magnetic field is a different level entirely. It stretches from Jupiter into space for several million kilometers, a distance greater than the distance between Earth and Sun. This is not just a field. This is a trap for particles. Jupiter's magnetosphere catches particles, electrons, protons, ions, and twists them into a ring, into a radiation belt. The radiation in Jupiter's magnetosphere is 100,000 times higher than in the most radioactive places on Earth. Chernobyl, Fukushima, these are kindergarten compared to the radiation swirling in Jupiter's magnetic traps. If you were an electron and fell into this trap, you would spin in it at 99.999% of light speed. You would not think. You would simply exist until you collided with magnetic lines and turned into a memory. Now, pay attention. Jupiter has moons, many moons, 81 moons, 81. Earth has 1 moon. Saturn has roughly the same, but Jupiter's moons are not simply icy boulders orbiting the planet. These are worlds, real worlds. Here is Io. Io is the most volcanically active place in the entire solar system. This is not an exaggeration. Earth has volcanoes. On Io, there are approximately 4 active volcanoes per 100 square kilometers. 4 columns of ash and lava rise 400 kilometers into the sky. 400! This is higher than the International Space Station. Why is Io a volcano? Because Jupiter squeezes it. Jupiter's gravity is so powerful that it literally crushes the moon like a cookie. Every time Io approaches Jupiter, its interior heats up. When it recedes, it freezes. Heats up again, freezes again. This happens every day. Every day, Io takes a beating from its master. And here is Europa. Europa is an icy moon. Its surface is smooth ice, completely smooth like an ice rink. But beneath this ice, and this is an astronomical fact, there is an ocean, a liquid ocean. Somewhere there at 100 kilometers depth under pressure that squeezes everything, there is water, liquid water, in warm places near hydrothermal vents. This means there could be life there. Let's be clear, we're talking about a moon of Jupiter, about a cold piece of ice floating through space, and inside it there could be life, bacteria, simple organisms, maybe even something even more complex, because there is water, because there is chemical energy, because there is life, and on Earth, life began with exactly this same set of conditions. Ganymede is Jupiter's largest moon, larger than a planet Mercury. Callisto, equally massive, equally covered in ice and craters. Jupiter is not merely one planet, it is a system. It is a miniature solar system with its own planets, its own drama, its own history. Only instead of a star at the center, a gas giant that crushes everything, presses everything, tears everything apart. In reality, everything is far more complicated. Further from the Sun than Jupiter lies an asteroid belt. This is not a romantic place full of stars and nebulae. This is a graveyard, rubble, fragments of a planet that was never born. Have you heard of this theory? Once, where the asteroid belt is now, there was a planet. It began to crystallize, to take shape into a unified world. But Jupiter said no. Its gravity was so powerful that it tore the forming planet into pieces. Every time a piece tried to coalesce, Jupiter twisted it apart. Every time something new was born, Jupiter destroyed it. Therefore, today we have millions of asteroids rotating around the Sun, never succeeding in becoming a complete world. In reality, everything is far more complicated. What lies inside Jupiter? At the top, cloud, methane, ammonia, water ice, hydrogen sulfide crystals. Everything boils, everything rotates, everything moves in one direction, downward. Deeper, hydrogen, liquid hydrogen. It doesn't look like water. It's colder, darker, denser. This is not a liquid you have ever seen. This is a liquid that exists only at pressures of 1,000,000 atmospheres and temperatures of several thousand degrees. You cannot touch it. You cannot see it. You can only know it's there because physics says it must be there. Even deeper, metallic hydrogen. This is the realm of impossibility. Hydrogen so compressed that it becomes metal. It conducts electricity. It creates Jupiter's magnetic field. That same field that obliterates DNA billions of light years around it. And in the very center, in the heart of this madness, lies a rocky core. Maybe 10 times larger than Earth, maybe 20 times. Maybe it's not there at all. We don't know, because we cannot look there. Pressure will completely shatter all our equipment long before we get close enough. Jupiter is a black box. We see only clouds. We see only the surface of this madness. And inside, hell boils, where matter becomes something it shouldn't be, and physics operates on the edge of impossibility. A human once tried to look inside Jupiter. This was NASA. This was the Galileo mission, and it was one of the boldest acts in the history of space exploration. In 1995, the Galileo spacecraft dropped an atmospheric probe into Jupiter's clouds. Just threw it there. Here, take it, planet. Find out what's happening inside you. The probe operated for 75 minutes. 75 minutes! During that time, it passed through cloud, through layers of atmosphere, transmitted data about temperature, pressure, gas composition, and then pressure exceeded 24 atmospheres. Temperature jumped to 150 degrees Celsius, and the data stopped. The probe was crushed, burned, torn into atoms. It no longer exists. It became part of Jupiter. But in those 75 minutes, it told us more about the planet than we have learned in all of the rest of history. Now the most fascinating part. Jupiter saves us. Have you ever wondered why an asteroid doesn't fall on Earth every day? Why didn't a comet the size of a mountain fall on you? Because Jupiter stands guard. Jupiter is the gravitational shield of the solar system. Its mass is 2,500 times greater than Earth's mass. Its gravity catches asteroids flying from the outer parts of the solar system and either throws them back into space or them toward itself. Without Jupiter, a mountain-sized meteorite would fall on Earth every day, maybe even more often. Jupiter is our guardian, our gigantic, gaseous, hellish guardian, who crushes everything, presses everything, and because of it, we can sleep peacefully. Thank you, Jupiter. Thank you for holding a gigantic shield above our heads. In reality, everything is far more complicated. We have sent many probes to Jupiter. Galileo, Juno, New Horizons flew by. We saw clouds, we saw winds, we saw moons. We saw the great red spot. But all of this is the surface. This is a cloud. What's inside? We don't know. We can build models, we can speculate, we can say that this and that should be there because physics says so. But we cannot look there. We cannot send a camera, we cannot send a probe, because pressure will disintegrate everything into molecules in milliseconds. Jupiter is a black box, beautiful, terrifying, gigantic black box, and we only stare at it from afar and wonder what's happening inside it. Jupiter is not merely a planet, it is a challenge. It is a reminder that the universe is far greater, far more painful, far more impossible than we can imagine. That our cities, our skyscrapers, our ships, these are merely dust next to this monument of impossibility. And finally, let's tell the truth. You are on a small blue planet that orbits an average star in one of 200 billion galaxies. On this planet, you have lived approximately 80 years if you're lucky. 80 years out of 4.5 billion. 80 out of the 5 billion that will remain before the sun dies. You are a grain of sand on a beach. And Jupiter, this is the reminder the universe left you. It says, look at this. There are things that are larger than you. There are things that are stronger than you. There are things that operate according to rules you cannot change. But you know what? That's beautiful, because you can look, because you can be interested, because you can send probes and read data, because you can stand under the stars and understand that you are part of this. You are part of this incredible, terrifying, wonderful dance that lasts billions of years. You are stardust that looks at the stars. If you like this video, tap that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next space adventure. Thanks for watching, Orbit Crew. We'll see you on the next mission.